Good afternoon and welcome to the latest episode of our Stargate Universe sci-fi cult classic documentary. I'm delighted this evening to be joined by the one and only Richard Kind, who played the role of Gary Meyers in the original Stargate movie and also played the role of Lucius Lavin in season 3 of Stargate Atlantis. I suppose, Richard, just to start off, I suppose roughly 1994, the Stargate movie, roughly 20 years on now since that. Does it almost feel like 20 years, or does it almost feel like you were yesterday you were on set shooting that movie and playing that role?
Well, I got to admit, as you get older, the whole world seems like yesterday, but that has nothing to do with it. It seems like forever when I look back on it. I can barely remember. I don't know what I was doing. I mean, it was fun because Kurt Russell was there, and James Spader was a friend, and I had other friends in the movie. So, it's another gig. When you look at things in hindsight, you don't they're different than when you're doing them. Like when they made, I don't know, Godfather, they knew they had a special movie. Did they know how iconic it would be at the time? Did we know that Stargate would be what it was? They had very, very high hopes for Stargate when it was released, and it was slated to bomb. It was not considered a great movie, and they did not expect it to make any money. Something must have happened that weekend where it was rainy and everybody went to the theater or something like that. It far, far surpassed any projections of how much it was going to make. And I know this because the producer is a good friend of mine. And, it was tracking that, to do, I don't know, $3-4 million. And at the time, I think that weekend, what did it do? It opened to like 19 million, which at the time was huge. It was enormous at the time. They had no idea. And it did not get great reviews at all. It was a fluke. It was a very lucky fluke. And it made Roland Emmerich and Dean Devlin not only a lot of money, but it shot them to the moon.
And I suppose, Richard, you mentioned there that Dean Devlin was a close friend of yours. So were you shortlisted for a long time out for this role of Gary Myers? Was it something that they came to you and listen, we have a movie in production, we have this role, this professor character, we think you'd be ideally suited for that? Or did you, or was it your talent agent came to you with the script and said, listen, this is from D. Devlin in terms of he's going to...
You can stop talking. I have an answer.
No
Stop
problem.
talking. I can tell you that on New Year's Eve prior, and this is a testament to what a good man Dean is. As Dean threw a huge New Year's Eve party. I'll always remember it. He came up to me and he goes, "What are you doing next September? Will you still be shooting Mad About You?" Which was a show that I was on at the time. I said, "Dean, I don't know what I'm doing next September." This was, December 31st. He goes, "I'm doing a movie and there's a great role in it for you and I want you to do it." I said, "Dean, I'm yours. If it works out, I'm yours." Well, I had to audition for it, but sure enough, Dean, unlike many, many, many Hollywood producers, kept to his word, and I got the role. And that's what it was. Now, I hadn't read the script. I didn't know what it was about or anything. I was just, I'm a character actor. I'm a working stiff. Give me a role, I go do it. I don't pick and choose my movies. If a role gets offered to me, I do it. And the role was offered to me, so it's not like, oh, did I read it? What did I think? If the script, let me go on set and do the movie. I'll do the role. That's how I work. Big movie stars don't work that way. They read a script. They read 10 scripts, and then they say, "This is the one I want to do." I'm on there for 2 or 3 weeks, and I don't have to devote months to it. And my presence doesn't determine the critical or economic success of a movie. I'm just a dancing monkey on a string. I show up, I do my part, and bigger stars will, determine how successful everything is. So I went and I did it, and it turned out it was fun. It was really fun. It was when I think of what I do. This is on radio, but all I do in Stargate is look at green screens with an open mouth, like trying to look amazed. That's all I do in the movie. I'm just part of a team.
And I suppose, Richard, in terms of the Stargate movie, obviously you mentioned there it came out to sort of mixed reviews and a mixed sort of reception and sort of took off, but it spawned a massive entity that came after it in terms of the TV series Stargate.
Yes.
And obviously that surpassed. You'll be first one to admit that went on to huge major thing. When you heard about the TV series was in the making after appearing in the movie itself, did you think to yourself there's a possibility I'm going to be offered a role in this, or am I going to try out for a character in this sort of TV series, or was that?
I didn't even know it was being made. I had no idea. Now, I think I am the only person to have been in the movie and in the TV series. I don't think there's anybody else who has. You would know better than I do.
Alexis Cruz, who was in the movie, he played Scara, the young boy, and with Jack O'Neill, the young.
And he's in the TV series.
TV series, yeah.
Well, there you go. But I played a really completely different character in the TV series because it was offered to me. As it turns out, it was a lot more fun than the movie. I loved that guy. I thought that was a hilarious character. I wish they had used me more. 2 times was really good. But I was sort of like that character in Star Trek, in the Tribbles episode or something like that. It had humor to it. It was a lot of fun. It wasn't just a regular old, sci-fi drivel. It was really, really fun to do that character.
And Richard, how did that opportunity come about for you to get cast in Stargate Atlantis?
They called my agent and said, "Would Richard Kind be interested in doing this?" I said, "Sure, interested. I'd love it." And they offered me the role. I didn't have to read for that. They just gave me that.
And when you arrived on set in terms of Stargate Atlantis and the TV series, were you taken back by the big sheer scale production size of it in terms of the sets and the stage? And
no, not a bit. No, it was just, it was completely different. It didn't even have to be called Stargate. It could, if it had another name, it would be fine. I don't even know whether or not there's a relationship between the movie and the TV show. They just took a name and that was recognizable and made it into part of a franchise. But I don't think it had anything. Does it have anything to do with the movie? You've seen it.
Yeah, there is a record. It's sort of a follow-on in terms of the Gould and the sort of Rad. There's a backstory that sort of leads on then in terms of the TV series.
I didn't read any of that. I had never seen the show, and I haven't seen the show since. I didn't even see my episodes.
And so, Richard, what did you make of your character? You mentioned you enjoyed playing him. In terms of when you got the script for your character there, what excited you about this character, Lucius Lavin?
Well, it's interesting because the guy is a loser who becomes a winner. He has a huge ego, and he becomes adored by, he becomes sort of godlike. If I remember I know I did 2 episodes. I don't think they were in the same season. And the one episode is that I remember enjoying is that people looked upon me as a god, and really what I was just a loser. So that was fun. And then what was the other episode about? I just remember him being a lot of fun. It was, I had a really nice arc to it. It was funny. My interactions with the crew and the team was lovely as could be. I mean, and everybody they were such good actors, such nice people. So I really had a good time.
Yeah, and Richard, you mentioned there the opportunities came about for you for Stargate Atlantis. you always leave yourself opportunities, open the door in terms of if being involved in the Stargate universe, if an opportunity comes about in the future in terms of the cameo roles, there's always something that you're open to in terms of sci-fi and reliving that sort of project?
As long as a paycheck follows quickly behind, I'm available. I actually, let me talk about something now, because I just did a fantastic, fantastic movie called Monsters of California, which is all about aliens. You can look that up. It's really, really cool. So, since you ask, would I be interested in anything sci-fi? This is going to be a perfect movie for your listeners to see and to look forward to. It was directed by a guy who was very big in rock and roll years ago. His name is Thomas DeLonge. He was in the band Blink 182.
Okay.
And Thomas is really into UFOs and aliens and the secrets behind the government and the military, keeping it under wraps. And he's had many, many discussions with people on the inside. And he's taken all of those and he's put it into a movie. And it's really, really, it's fun, it's good, it's smart. It begs for the answers that the military knows to come out. And my job, I play an ex-military scientist who's on the run from the military because of the secrets that I know. It's really good. I have a part that is very different than anything you've ever seen me play. I'm almost heroic.
That's a good note to hear about, Richard, in terms of that project is something we'll definitely promote and we'll definitely look forward to seeing in the near future. Richard Kind, an absolute pleasure talking to you this evening to relive your memories, appearing in the original Stargate movie as Gary Meyers and also appearing as Lucius Lavin in Stargate Atlantis. Richard, in these troublesome times, stay safe, stay well, and hopefully stay prosperous. Thank you, Richard.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to talk to you.